That
can't be
Okay,
right. But what if
let's
they're
start the
real after
quest.
all? No, that can't be. But what if there's a chance?
வேணா ஆல்ட்ட கொஞ்சம் ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. இது ஒரு நல்ல ஐடியா.
Greetings, miss. Is there something that's bothering you?
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm Della Roche, the representative of the Fontaine Fishing Association. How can I help you?
அதான் தெரியுமே உங்க மீன் பிடிக்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து இருக்கு.
Oh, so you're adventurers. Oh, finally, someone has heard my
நம்ம இது முன்னாடி
prayers.
பார்த்திருக்கிறோம்.
Paimon could tell you were really bothered by something. Don't worry, you've got 2 super experienced adventurers right here. We'll take care of anything and everything for you as long as you pay us a little bit of mora.
Oh, you are exactly the helpers I need. See, the problem is that the fish around a fishing spot at Irenaeus have just all up and vanished recently.
Vanish.
They
எப்படி
disappeared
vanish
too
ஆச்சு?
quickly for it to have been the work of human anglers. As the representative of the Fishing Association, I had planned to go and investigate the area right away. Right, but unfortunately, as the representative of the Fishing Association, there are a few other errands that I absolutely have to run. So
you'd like us to investigate the spot for you?
Right
exactly,
now, right
you're
here,
right
emoji.
on the mora. So I thought I could delegate this work to you. Are you two some kind of prophets, knowing exactly what I was going to say like that? Or maybe like the oracles you read about in fairy tales?
Yeah, we're just really experienced in this kind of thing, that's all.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'll get a good night's sleep knowing the two of you are on the case.
பைமான் எப்படி
But
திரும்ப
don't we
தண்ணியில
just
வந்து நம்ம
need to
கண்டுபிடிக்கும் போது
investigate the missing fish? It
பசியோட
really
சுத்திட்டு
doesn't
இருந்தது.
sound too difficult.
டக்குனு மீன் தண்ணியில பாத்துறோம்.
No,
அப்படியே
you
பிடிச்சி
mustn't let your
தின்றலாம்
guard
அப்படின்னு
down.
சொல்லி விழுந்துச்சு.
As the representative of the Fishing
அப்புறமா
Association,
தான் ஞாபகம்
I
வந்திருக்கும்.
have good
நீச்சல்
reason to
தெரியாது.
believe that the fish have gone missing due to an encounter with the water imps. Yes, you're both Outlanders, right? Our local fairy tales often speak of a terrifying underwater creature called Thelxie. The story our parents would tell us was always the same. If we went to the water alone, then we'd be snatched away and eaten by a water imp called Thelxie.
சரி.
A child eating water imp? Did they tell you what it looked like?
My father would always describe it as a beautiful, multicolored snake woman, while my mother said it had a
Snake
handsome
woman.
face.
Hi, good
It's
morning,
really
welcome to the
strange,
stream.
though,
Thanks for
because
the
you'd
hydrate.
also hear other people describe it as just a
tomorrow.
chubby penguin with a deceptive appearance.
சாப்பிட்டு
Even though the tales vary regarding its appearance, everyone agrees
Yesterday.
that it's
அதானே.
really dangerous.
Tomorrow வா?
It lives in an
Tomorrow
underwater
என்னத்துக்கு
cave
சாப்பிட்டு
surrounded
வரப்போகுது?
by
நான் யோசிச்சுட்டு
pallid
இருக்கேன்.
bones and uses its sensitive
அது பரவாயில்ல
nose
குமார்.
to track down
GG.
lonely children who've lost their way.
என்ன கொண்டாலும்
And
ஸ்மூத்
once it
கேம் ப்ளே
finds a
எப்படி இருக்கு?
child,
இதோ
it
போன்.
uses its alluring singing voice to lure them into the water before swallowing them whole. Pretty terrifying, isn't it?
Sounds kind of scary. But
ஸ்மூத் கேம்
isn't
ப்ளே
that
எப்படி இருக்குன்னு.
pretty normal for a fairy tale? After all, those kinds of stories are usually made up to help keep children away from danger.
But what if the fairy tale was inspired by a real-life tale? Just like how a water vein always has a source. Well, I wouldn't call it evidence per
என்ன
se,
bro ஒண்ணும்
but I've
புரியல.
heard some rumors lately.
Yo,
They say
புதுசா
that
phone
someone
வாங்குனியே, smooth-ஆ
recently
game
saw a
விளையாடுறதுக்கு
child
எப்படி
walk
இருக்குன்னு.
into the water as if he was possessed by something.
Please நம்மள
Doesn't that
குழப்பதா இல்ல
sound
நம்ம
just like he
குழம்பு
was
போயிருக்கோமா?
responding to the call of a water imp?
So you mean someone really got eaten by a water imp?
ஓ நல்லா இருக்கு.
It's all hearsay, so it's hard to confirm.
அநியாயத்துல
But
டியூப்
still,
லைட்டா இருக்க
they
கூடாதியா?
all say this happened on Irenaeus.
அத
That's no
பெரிய
laughing
டியூப் லைட்டா
matter if
இருக்க
you
நானே
ask me.
சொல்றேன்.
Both the Opera
பரவாயில்ல.
House and the Fountain of Lucine were built
இப்பதான்
there,
இருந்தேன்.
and
ஓ.
the sources of many water veins can be traced to the
அப்ப
island as
கனவுல
well.
வாங்கியிருப்பீங்க கூட 2
Combine
மந்த்ங்க.
that with the mysterious mist, the huge tree with expansive underground roots, and the rumor that the fish chefs on the island can understand human language. Is it really so
உன்னால
shocking that an island
கொஞ்சம்
so
imagine பண்ணி
shrouded
பாருங்களேன்.
in
ஒரு நாள்
mystery
தூங்கி
could harbor
எழும்புறீங்க.
a terrifying water imp as
எழுந்து
well?
பார்த்து உங்க பழைய ஃபோன் தான் உங்க பக்கத்துல
I
இருக்கு.
feel like you're pulling our leg.
புது ஃபோன் இல்ல.
Just piling on the rumors now.
என்னடான்னு பார்த்தா வீட்ல கேட்டா கனவுடா. என்னடா தூக்கத்துல இருந்து நீ ஏதாவது கனவு கண்டுட்டு உளறியா அப்படின்றாங்க.
right, traveler?
நீங்க அந்த அனுபவிச்ச எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் அது எல்லாமே பொய்ன்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரிய வரும்போது உங்க முகத்துல அந்த ஷாக்.
Oh, marvelous. Then I'll just mark the stretch of water on your map. Don't forget that no matter what, safety always comes first.
நீங்க என்ன இன்வெஸ்டிகேட் பண்ணணும்? கால் அடித்தா.
These look pretty fresh. Did the water imp get someone again? Let's look around and see if we can find
Water
anything
imp.
else.
என்ன ஈட்டு? குழம்பு கெட்டியா போகும். Yes,
Wait.
gravy.
Did you hear something just
Hi
now?
friends bro, welcome to the stream. Did you hear something just now? Okay, coming from the water, louder and louder until something emerges with a loud splash. யாருக்கு? இவனா? Feminist.
Paimon? Traveler?
Feminist?
I'm sorry. I forgot I was still wearing this.
Unite ஆடணும். Team அப்போதான் வரலாம். ஓ.
Paimon, are you okay?
பைமான்ல எப்பவுமே ஓகே தான்.
Paimon nearly mistook you for a water imp. Thank
அதுதான் நல்லா
goodness it
சோறு
was
போட்டு
just
வளர்த்துட்டு
you
இருக்கேன்.
wearing your helmet.
சோறு போடணும்னா எண்ணெயை திருப்பணும்.
A water imp?
போகும்போது. We are investigating water imp called
Thelxie, you say?
Thelxie.
How surprising.
Thelxie.
Huh? You know that name too?
Looking,
Or
thanks
do you
for
know
your
someone else who's
looking.
trying to investigate the water imp?
No, I think our situations are probably unrelated.
அந்த milk போடுறதுக்கு ஒரு முறை இருக்கு. You have to put first milk after the chicken gets cooked on normal water, and then second milk after a while the spice get mixed in it. என்ன ஜெய்கில்ஸ் இப்போதுலேருந்தே ட்ரைனிங்கா?
Sure, if that's in order. I know the name because of one of my employers. She knows the clockwork penguins I brought to the workshop and contacted me through the shop's owner. She has commissioned me to make a special toy. Following her request, I've named the toy Thelxie.
Huh? But isn't it a little creepy to name a toy after a water imp?
டாய்.
Wait, hold on. For a minute, you never take commissions from other people.
இந்த ஏஜ்ல கொஞ்சமா
Yeah,
தெரிஞ்சு
but,
வச்சிருக்கீங்க. போக போக
She
கத்துக்கணும்.
made a special request, but out of respect for her privacy,
சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கான்.
I can't really talk about it. It's all right though. She'll be coming over to check on my progress shortly, and I'll just tell her that you're two of my trustworthy companions.
மேலே
Hearing
வானம் கீழே
that,
பூமி நடுவுல
she
இருக்க அந்த
might be
அரஜாயின்
willing to share
வயிறுக்காக
some
தான் எல்லாமே.
information, and you'll be able to continue with your investigation.
Huh. Even though you seem a little cold and reserved sometimes, you're still really considerate. Our target isn't necessarily the water imp, though. We're primarily here to
வயிற்று
investigate the
குழப்பு
disappearance of the fish.
வாங்க வாங்க.
The fish?
இதுக்கு மிஞ்சி என் அம்மாவை தான் கூப்பிட்டு வீசில விடணும். எதுக்கு அம்மாவை? யோ, நான் இப்போ நீ சொன்ன ரெசிபி தப்புன்னு நான் சொல்லவே இல்லையா? இப்போதுலேருந்து கற்று வச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன் தான் நான் சொன்னேன். which I'm afraid to do for some reason. அப்போ கூப்பிடு, அப்போ அம்மாவை கூப்பிடு. அம்மா கிட்ட ஏகணும் நீ என்னென்ன சிலுமை சொல்லாம பண்ற.
I think I may have connected the dots. These past few weeks, I've been taking Thelxie for underwater testing every day. The pressure testing makes a lot of noise. So, all that about the disappearing fish, well, it was probably because of me.
So that's all it was? That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Wait, so could that mean the child we heard about who walked into the water was also
just preparing for another.
Yes, I think that's quite likely as well.
So in the end, it was just Fremine. Paimon spent all this time imagining what a water from the
Feminine.
fairy tales
No,
might look
feminine.
like, and it
Feminist.
all turns out to be just a hoax.
I'm sorry. It sounds like I've created a lot of trouble for everyone else as well. I'll try to finish this commission as soon as possible. Once I'm done, the fish should come back.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yes, this was
Actually,
just a
how much work
misunderstanding.
do you still have left, Remine? Maybe we could lend you a hand.
Thanks for offering. But I can't trouble you any more than I already have.
Yeah.
Hey,
You know,
it's no
double
trouble
contact.
at all.
Yes.
Couldn't you just call us your trustworthy companions? Companions are all about
Paimon
helping each
also
other, you
have
know?
brain.
But don't you
only
need to
because
report back
she
to your
will say,
commissioner?
படிக்காம என்னடா பண்ற?
See, Paimon's got these commissioner types all
அது
figured
எல்லாம்
out,
விட்டு திட்டுறது
even
பாரு.
though we were just tasked with finding out why the fish had gone missing. If we
Only
tell them
afraid,
now that it was all
I'm
just a
only afraid
misunderstanding,
because he
you can
is
bet
the
they'd just
படிக்காம என்னடா
immediately
பண்ற?
hand us another commission to help them get the fish back.
Yeah, we are just really experienced in this kind of thing. That's all.
Exactly! So if we can help you finish up your work and get the fish back, that would save us an extra trip.
Is that what you'd like to do as well?
Yeah, I think Paimon is right. Yeah. ஒரு நல்ல ஐடியா கொடுத்துருக்கு.
Alright, I'll trust your judgment.
Okay.
Please follow me. I've made a makeshift camp over there.
ஓ, கேம்ப்ல ரெடி பண்ணியா? நல்லதுடா. We just wants me to study all day. அதுதான் ப்ரோ.
I've
அதுதான்
stored
நிறைய
Thelxie
பண்ணுவாங்க.
in the tent.
Hey,
He
இதோ இருக்கு.
can respond to some simple verbal commands. You can try calling his name and see if he'll come over.
Whoa, sounds pretty advanced. Let Paimon give it a try. Hey, Thelxie! Are you there?
என்னடா நடந்துட்டு சுத்துது? ஹாய் சொல்லுது. ஹாய் சொல்லுங்க பைமான் ஓபி. எஸ்.
So that's Femine's version of Thelxie. It's also penguin-shaped, just like Pear.
Yep. Had Thelxie lived in Penguin Town,
Thelxie.
he'd probably have become great friends with Pear.
Where is Penguin Town?
It's not really anywhere famous or important. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Thelxie. Nice to meet you. Do you know how to say hello?
I wanted to install a language output module, but due to time constraints, I had to give up on the idea.
So much
As it stands, Thelxie can only output messages that were pre-written into its motherboard. I haven't given him the ability to convert those messages into discernible words,
Why this much
so
hatred?
he
What's
can't
that
really talk to
little
us just
flying
yet.
thingy?
No need to get so technical. So basically, you want us to help you complete and install this language module, right?
No, there's no need. That wasn't one of my employer's requests.
ஆமா நான் பேசுறது பத்தி
It
கேக்குதா?
was just something I wanted to try. I have 2 other things I'd like your help with. The first is to do some integration testing on Thelxie's motherboard to make sure he will be able to function properly in most situations.
ஏன்னா இந்த ஓபிஎஸ் சனியை நம்ப
That
முடியாது.
doesn't sound
திடீர்னு
too
கத்துனது
hard. And what's the other thing?
Forcing Farina to
The
join
other
the
shouldn't
drama
take too long either.
too many
You'll
times.
need to find Thelxie
Oh,
some
அதுக்காக.
colorful
Okay,
shells
okay,
and
okay.
coral, so I can craft a weapon for him.
A weapon? Will Thelxie have to fight?
ஏது அது ஃபைட் பண்ணுமா?
Thelxie will need to be able to charge forward with a weapon in hand, like that brave prince of legend. It's a part of my employer's request.
What an imaginative employer! Naming Thelxie after a water imp, but wanting him to look like a prince?
Well, regardless of his role or species, Thelxie's purpose is the
ஏய்
same.
அது ரோபோட்
Just
அது
like
அப்புறம் ஒரு
Pear,
ஸ்பீஷீஸ் ஆகும்.
he has come to this world to serve as
கண்ணுக்கு அது
somebody's
species-ஆ
companion.
தெரியுது.
Whoa, Thelxie just said something again! Could he understand what we were just talking about?
After further
He can react to
yes.
certain key words,
அது
but unfortunately,
correct தான்.
due to the lack of a translation module, he still can't quite communicate with us.
That's a pity. But anyway, the most important thing right now is for us to get to work. Maybe let's start by doing some
ஆனா அந்த
testing
கோர்ஸ் நம்ம
on
பண்ண
the
முடியாது. நம்மளுக்கு வேற தான் ஃபைல்
motherboard.
பண்ணுது.
That sounds like something we can do here in
Because
the
நம்ம
camp.
MC பேசாது.
Sounds good.
திடீர்னு தான் பேசும்.
The motherboard
மௌன
is on my
விரதமா இருக்கும்.
workbench,
திடீர்னு வந்து
so
பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த
please
மௌன
follow
விரதத்தை
me.
கலைச்சிட்டு பேசும் ஒரு வார்த்தை. அதுக்கப்புறம் மறுபடியும் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா மௌன விரதத்துக்குள்ள போயிடும். ஒன்லி டெலிபதி
Here we
டாக் தான்.
go. I have this
ஒரு
testing
பாயாசத்தை
manual,
போட
so
வேண்டியதுதான்.
feel free to reference it if you get stuck. Want to give it a try? It's okay if you don't succeed immediately. I've got a lot of backup
game.
boards just in case.
Hold up. Let Paimon cook.
Okay. Knowing you,
Moku
I'm
work.
sure you'll be able to figure it out.
1 MCS. காப்பி அடிச்சிட்டானு பாருங்க.
You're doing well. Just as I
ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
expected.
வந்து கேமை பார்த்தா செகண்ட் அந்த கேம் காப்பி அடிக்கணும். ஆனா இங்க அப்படியே உல்டா வருது. செகண்ட் அந்த கேமை பார்த்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அந்த கேம்
Then
காப்பி
let's
அடிக்கணும்.
move on to the underwater part.
Their Genshin is
It's just as I
23
mentioned
GB.
earlier. We're after colorful shells and coral. Oh, speaking of which, you're both already pretty used to Fontaine's underwater environment,
Yes,
right?
yes. ஆமா ஆமா.
Okay,
We are pretty much
that's
experts.
good.
நான் ஃபாண்டேன்
Just let
எல்லாத்தையுமே
me know if
100%
you ever feel
பண்ணிட்டேன்.
uncomfortable.
நேத்து உட்கார்ந்து லாஸ்டா
I'll
இருந்ததையும்
make sure to
100%
stay right by your
பண்ணிட்டேன்.
side.
ஏட்டா
It should be right over there. We'll be able to find something that'll help us with our... This is it. We call this thing an echoing conch. It can detect special reflection waves in the water.
எத்தனை இது ஆன் பண்ணிருக்கேன் இதெல்லாம்.
Did you notice any interesting places? The echoing conch should have detected some just now. Let's go check them out. Alright, these should be enough. Let's head back to camp.
Auntie. District. Zoria District. District. என்னடா பேரு பாட்டு பாடிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஹாய்.
Fremine, you're back. I thought you might have been out diving.
I'm sorry, Madame Destray. I must have kept you waiting. I can report, though, that the construction of Thelxie is going quite smoothly.
There's no rush. I'm your employer, not your supervisor. And these two are...
Oh, they're two of my trustworthy companions. They're here to help me work on Thelxie.
Yes, I see. I suppose it's only natural for someone responsible like you to have some reliable friends.
Yes.
It's really nice to meet you, Madame Destray. Are you Fremine's employer? Paimon is Paimon, and this is the traveler.
The Paimon is Paimon dialogue யாரா
Greetings, my new
சொன்னது?
friends.
இதுவும்
Just call me
அரைச்ச
Zoria.
மாதிரி இதே தான் சொல்லுது.
You are both
Paimon is
so
Paimon. நீ Paimon தான்
adorable.
தெரியுமே.
The sight of you reminds me of little fairies under a cottage roof.
அதை கியூட்னு நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கானுங்களா?
Oh, do you really think so?
Paimon is Paimon.
Of course. If my child had friends like
பாவம்
you,
Paimon.
then perhaps he wouldn't have become
dialogue
so
பக்கத்துல
obsessed
இருந்த
with the
மாதிரி.
tales of water imps. And I wouldn't have had to trouble Fremine here with this commission.
Obsessed with the tales of
எல்லாம்
water?
மாறிச்சு இது மட்டும் மாறல அதேதான்.
So you don't know anything about my
Paimonோட
request
பழைய
yet?
வாய்ஸ்லாம் கூட மாறிடுச்சு.
I would have thought Fremine had
நான்
explained it to you
Paimon
already.
RIP.
Well, Fremine told us that it was a private matter, so he didn't want to just share it willy-nilly.
Not fair.
I see. So
Paimon
Monsieur
RIP,
Fremine is
Rest
even
in
more
peace,
discreet than I had
Why?
thought. As you are assisting him with the project, I believe it'll be beneficial for you to learn more about its vision and history. But it would be quite impolite of me to simply pile all of my troubles on you without your permission. So, would you like to listen to my story?
இன்னும் மாறுது.
Sure, you can
இன்னும்
tell
மாறுமா?
us anything. You've already said
Guys,
nice things about us, so
mic
we'll
வந்து
try our
புடிச்சு
best to help you get through your troubles.
மைக்ல நீ என்ன குத்துனாலும் ஒன்றும் வராது.
Ah, what a lovely little fairy. Then let me think of
ஒரு
a
அடி
way to
போடுற
put my
சவுண்ட் இதை கேட்டா
situation into words.
அட்ஜஸ்ட் கரோ.
I'm sure you're already familiar with the tale of the water imps, right? Simply put,
வந்துருச்சுங்க.
parents came up with a story, painting water imps as scary abductors in an effort to convince their children to stay away from the water.
சீனு
My child is rather
Quest.
special, however. While most
இதுவே
other
பாதி
children
நேரம்
are
பேசுது.
terrified of Thelxie,
வாய்ஸ
he's
பாருங்க.
infatuated with him.
அதுவும் கரெக்ட் தான்.
Infatuated?
அது
With
அரணாரா
a
கொஸ்டின் இல்ல, எல்லா கொஸ்டின் இதுதான் அதிகமா
What a
வித்தியாசம்.
brave soul.
Yes, he told me that he thought the water imp might have just been misunderstood. In his mind, instead of singing to abduct children, the water imp actually sang out of a longing for companionship. As a result, he often goes near the water in secret.
So he wanted to become friends with the water imp so it wouldn't be lonely any longer? What a unique way of thinking.
Thank you, little Paimon. He indeed has always stood out from the crowd. He was actually diagnosed with loneliness syndrome when he was only 8 years old.
Okay, loneliness.
It's a type of mental disorder. Those affected by it often feel extremely lonely and lose interest in many mundane activities. The syndrome is probably what made him so determined to become friends with the water imp.
Oh no. Is it a very serious disorder?
If you were to become afflicted with the disorder, Paimon, you would only be able to say less than a fraction of the words you're saying to the traveler now.
No! Paimon won't accept that! We would have to find a doctor to help cure Paimon. Paimon has a 2,000-word quota for daily conversations with the traveler, and she won't settle for a single word less!
The family doctor has already begun to treat my son, but since the disorder is rare, there aren't many good regimens for treatment. He's also developed some new symptoms lately, such as uncontrollable delusions.
எப்ப பயமா
Uncontrollable what now?
Uncontrollable delusions. To put it simply,
you are in a
he can no
delusion,
longer
Paimon.
differentiate between fantasy and reality, and spends all his time in his fantasy world.
Then what is he seeing in his fantasy world?
It's a dream that he often mentioned to me when he was younger. I've compiled what I could understand of his recent rambling. It goes a bit like this.
பண்ணதான் கண்டினியூ ஆகுமா? கான்கெஸ்ட் லவ்லி வாட்டர் imps. Baby nose made of rainbow shells and corals. Tending to sea animals during the day and singing between fields of golden idalga during the night. idalga இல்ல டடக்காவா? என்னடா பேர் வைக்கிறீங்க ஒழுங்கா everyone went carefree and blessed lives until the day of the parade, the important festival during which the new king will be crowned. கிங்கா எதுக்கு? ஓ, அந்த பெண் குயினா? நெசமாவே அந்த பெண் குயின் உசுரோட தான் இருக்கா? ஐயோ, அது ரோபோட் மாதிரி கிடையாது. Before the festival, all water imps would select the most precious pearl they owned, wrap it in golden branches and leaves, and offer it to their most beloved prince. Oh, சரிங்களா? புதையல கொடுக்குதுங்க. And during the day of the parade, the prince would cross a rainbow bridge made from all the offered shells and accept the crown from his father. Oh, aimed the applause of his subjects, finally the new king would bless everyone with his well wish. Okay. Innuma? And as for the princess, it's none other than Texel தானே வரும். நம்ம சொல்லலாம்.
Amazing.
ஐயா செகண்ட்
Your
பேரா
son
எப்போ
came up with all
சமீபம்
of this?
செகண்ட் பேஸ்
He really
செகண்ட்
crafted a
பேஸுக்கு இன்னும்
lovely
இருக்கு ப்ரோ
fairy
டைம்.
tale world for
செகண்ட் பேஸ் கொஞ்சம்
Thelxie.
லேட்டாக வரல.
It's like a
ஹாய் ஜெயந்த் ப்ரோ,
beautiful
வெல்கம் டு தி ஸ்ட்ரீம்.
dream.
But perhaps no beautiful dream can ever last long. You see,
பக்கத்து டாண்டி
the
வந்து
story ended with a
ஜெயந்த்
twist.
ப்ரோ சோக்கு கேக்குது. The day of the iridescence parade came as expected, but countless monsters also arrived alongside the prince. The monsters were evil and cruel, and they struck fear into all the water nymphs' hearts. The water nymphs adopted singing as they were. Okay, could not defend themselves against the monsters, so the kingdom fell. The king was killed. Oh my god. And the water nymphs were locked behind bars. Oh, jail. Okay. The rainbow bridge lost its color and crumbled away. The prince was barely able to escape with the help of a mysterious masked individual, feminist, but he had already lost everything and could only spend his days singing mournful songs. Okay, and just as the lone sang out of loneliness of so could his song only be heard by similarly lonely children. Oh,
How could the story
lonely
end like
இருக்கவங்களுக்கு மட்டும் தான்
this?
கேக்குமா?
Is that kind of fantasizing what caused your son to develop his loneliness syndrome?
பாதியா கதை படிக்கணும்.
Well, it'd be more accurate to say that it was the syndrome that caused such terrible delusions to manifest.
சும்மாதான் ஜெயந்த்.
But in any case, the
இதுல வாய்ஸ்
biggest
வருதுல்ல,
problem
இதுதான்
is
அது
the
பண்றான்.
patient eventually loses themselves to the fantasy world of their own creation.
My poor child can no longer differentiate between imagination and reality. He's begun to see himself as Thelxie.
Perhaps in his mind, the loneliness he felt became the same as that of a prince who lost everything he ever loved or stood
Okay,
for.
okay. என்னது இது?
What? So
Iwanta.
that's what you meant by
இல்ல ஜெயந்த் ப்ரோ,
uncontrollable delusions.
ஆர்கான் கோஸ்ட் ஆக்ட்
Then
6.
we have to help him snap out of it.
Yes.
Alas, most of the time he acts as if he can no longer sense or interact with the real world at all. I've had several discussions with the doctor, and we think it is best to try to guide his
Nothing?
fantasy.
ஆக்ட் 6 ப்ரோ. Right, yes.
He once wanted to make a picture book of his imaginary
ஆர்கான்
world,
கோஸ்ட். எஸ்.
but since the disorder
சில்க்ஸ்
progressed too
அப்படின்றது பெரிய
quickly,
வெயிட் கை.
he never quite got past the first page of the book. If we could
அது
use
மூலியமா
this book as a
போறோம்.
breakthrough for his condition. Here, you can take a look.
பாருங்க.
So Zuri's son also saw Thelxie as a penguin. Oh, he
இது நம்ம
looks so
லிஸ்ட்லயே இல்லையே.
sad.
ஆமா
What
ப்ரோ,
we
யார்
should do
லிஸ்ட்லயே
now
இல்ல.
is help him
இது
complete
கென்ஷன்
this
லிஸ்ட்லயே
picture
இல்ல.
book. However, we'll lead the story to a different ending. One where the water imp prince is eventually able to restore his kingdom with the help of his friends. We'll need to chase away his loneliness and sorrow and let him perceive a world full of hope again.
Okay.
That's what I mean by guiding his fantasy.
But if we just need to finish the picture book, why does Fremine need to make a Thelxie as well?
Because we need to treat the book's story seriously, as if it's a history of things that have really happened. We'll need to go on a journey
Giant
like
bro,
Thelxie
இதையும் வந்துட்டு
and
question
help
bro.
him regain his crown and country.
இன்னைக்கு வந்துச்சு.
But my child can no longer go on a journey of his own. This is why I commissioned Fremine here to craft a Thelxie, and then I'll paint the journey with this Thelxie into the picture book.
Ah, like a stand-in for your son! Paimon's starting to get it now. Oh, you really put a lot of thought into this, Zuria. Paimon still has one question, though. Where will we be able to find a water imp kingdom?
There are some ruins on the seabed of the
DC-ல தான் bro
Salacia
இருக்கு.
Plains. I've
Encrypted
already
ல இருக்கு
asked
இப்போ.
Fremine to research them for me. We'll be able to use one of the ruins as the kingdom.
ஈவென்ட்
So we'll
முடிஞ்சதுக்கு
just
அப்புறம்
need to
நார்மல்
act out a performance of, a brave journey through the kingdom of water imps. As long as we chase away the monsters in the
இப்பதான்
ruins, it'll count
ஆரம்பிக்கிறீங்களா?
as
Yes, yes.
chasing away the monsters in the Water Imp Kingdom, right?
Sadly, no.
Mhm.
We won't just be putting on a performance. It's just as Zuria said. We need to take this seriously. And the only way we can take this seriously is if we choose
Hope,
to believe everything
yes.
that's happening is real.
So we'll be playing it
அந்த
straight?
ஹோப் இருக்கிறனால
or,
தான் டென்ஷன்ல நிறைய பேர்
making
சர்வைவ்
it
ஆகிறாங்க.
a fully immersive experience? Oh, neither of those really sound right. Well, either way, we'll still be able to help, right?
எத்தனை ரைட்டு?
It's all right. There's no need to get that serious. It's not a big deal. I believe in my
புது
son.
கேரக்டர் கன்
We
பொண்ணு
can
வந்துச்சா?
just see this as
இல்லையே.
him wanting to stay
அது இதுல
asleep
வருதா?
for a bit longer because he's so enamored with his dream.
Zuria.
Keep your
Sorry.
spirits up, everyone. If we were to look troubled, my
தெரியலையே.
son is
அப்ப
sure to
என்னையா
become
கேக்குற?
anxious as well. I should be heading back
நானும்
right about now to check
வருது
on my
போல
son.
இருக்குன்னு நினைச்சு எக்ஸைட் ஆனேன்.
We temporarily moved to a place on the hill over there, so my son will have a better spot to convalesce. It's not far from the water, and there's also a great view. Feel free to come find me if anything urgent comes up.
சும்மா கேக்குறது
Understood. There's also one last thing.
ஒரு 5000 ரூபாய் ஜிபி.
Since these two
GPay
friends were
பண்ணிட்டு
able
தான்
to help
கேக்குறது.
me out, I've made some more progress on Thelxie. I estimate
சும்மா
that he should be
சொன்னேன்.
ready sometime tomorrow.
That's great news. I must thank you all.
நான் உண்மையா எக்ஸைட் ஆனா அது புது
With that in mind,
கண்கள்
how about we meet here in
வருது
2
போல
days'
அந்த
time to
போஸ்டர்
head to the
அப்படி.
Kingdom of Water Imps? All right,
அது இது
everyone.
வரைக்கும் காட்டல.
Let's meet again in another 2 days.
Zuria sure is a brave and optimistic lady. Fremine, do you think her plan will work out?
Let's discuss that over by the tent. There were a few things that I didn't bring up because the madame was here.
ஸ்கர் கம்மாவனை பார்க்கணும். ஏன் உங்க வைஃபான் பார்க்கவா? இல்ல இவ்வளவு ஸ்டார்ம் லேடியை பெத்து போட்டிருக்கீங்க
What is it,
அப்படின்னு சொல்லி
Fremine?
பாராட்டவா?
What did you want to say?
தலைவர் திமிங்கலம் எங்கே? திமிங்கலம்
If
அதுதான்
you
பெட்
don't mind
அனிமலாமே.
me asking,
பெட் அனிமலே அவ்வளவு
I
பெருசு
would like
காசுது.
the two of you to mentally prepare yourselves.
Mentally prepare ourselves for what?
This is the first time that you've met anyone with the syndrome, right? I know you two are both really strong and will do everything you can to help the child. But with the syndrome being the way it is, if things don't quite
என்ன
turn out
ஜெயந்தையா
as we
சாப்பிட்டாச்சா?
wish,
எக்ஸாம்லாம் எப்படி
I
பண்ணீங்க?
hope
இல்ல
you'll be
இன்னும்
able
இருக்கா
to
எக்ஸாம்?
accept the outcome and not
Exam
put
இருக்குன்னு
too much
சொன்னீங்க.
blame on yourselves.
Fremine, why do you bring this up all of a sudden? Didn't we just promise Zuria that we'll be optimistic about everything working out?
It's not that I'm not optimistic. It's just...
ஏதோ பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? You know this illness really well. Yes.
So that's why you looked like you knew exactly what she was talking about. Wait, Fremine, don't tell Paimon that you also...
No. Please don't misunderstand.
எனக்கும் அதே டவுட் தான்
I've
வந்துச்சு
never
பையன்.
had it.
பரவாயில்ல.
I've
உனக்கும் இதுலயாவது
just-
வேவ் கரெக்டா இருக்கே.
I've just seen many
உனக்கும் அந்த
cases
நோய்
of it
இருக்குதாடா?
at the House of the Hearth, back when we lived under the previous director. They say there are many factors surrounding the development of this illness. I've heard everything from hereditary factors and one's state of mind to environmental factors and even ley line disorder effects. Some even say it could be caused by contamination from god remains. And from
God
the cases
remains,
I've seen,
மறுபடியும்
there
இது.
weren't many positive outcomes.
அது எங்கப்பா?
In the worst cases, the
இந்த
patient could
ஆக்கான் பஸ்ல
even
என்ன ஒரு குண்டு போடுவாங்க.
pass away.
What? It could get that serious? And here Paimon thought they'd just stop
இந்தோ,
talking as much.
இப்போ இன்னொரு குண்டு போட்டானே காட் ரிமைனை பத்தி.
Yeah, that's
First
just the
குண்டு.
nature of it. So if you'll find it difficult to cope with
எத்தனை
the
இடத்துல
worst
காட்
case
ரிமைன்ஸ்
scenario,
இருக்கு? சுமேரில் தான்
I would prefer that you
லீவெல்ல
back
தான்
out right
அழிச்சான்
now.
நினைக்கிறேன். உன்னோட
I don't want you to help only to feel like you failed.
ஸ்டோரி குஸ்டில்.
Hey, now's not the time to be joking around. Don't worry,
டாய்
Fremine.
ரொம்ப
No
சீரியஸா
matter how
பேசிட்டு
hard it
இருக்கிறவங்க
might
சொல்லிட்டு
get,
ஒரு
we'll
ஜோக்
be
அடிச்சு
able to
எல்லாம்
handle
சிரிக்கலாம்
it.
என்ன நீ
Really? Then in that case, let's see this real-life fantasy adventure together to the end.
ரியல் லைஃப் ஃபேண்டசி அட்வென்ச்சர்
But Paimon has a question. If this
சோறு போடுவியா
illness
தானே
can really be as bad as you've
இல்லையா
described, then do you really think Zuria's method will be able to help?
Okay.
After all, we'll just be using a toy as Thelxie and some ruins as the Kingdom of Water Imps. The whole adventure will only be turned into a picture book for her son to read.
Well, I think it should be able to do something. To harbor a fantasy means that the child wants to save himself
ஃபைமான
somehow.
கலாச்சி தள்ளுறீங்க
The only reason he's allowed his
என்ன
dream
எப்ப
kingdom
பார்த்தாலும்
to fall
ஃபைமான் இஸ்
is
ஃபைமான்
because he's
ஃபைமான் இஸ்
lost
ஃபைமான் கேட்கும்
control
போது
of his
இரிட்டேட்
heart.
ஆகுது
But if we can help him regain control and escape from the darkness, we'll be able to change his world. Like helping someone who's lost their voice be able to speak again.
Oh, Paimon sees what you're saying now. Huh. How do you understand all of this so well, Fremine?
Well, maybe because I have also had many of my own dreams in the past. I even had my own fairy tale world, much like that boy's. I was able to draw a lot of support from it.
இன்னைக்கு நல்ல ஃபார்ம்ல
So
இருக்கீங்க
I
ஐயா
believe in the power of fantasy worlds.
Okay.
So you remembered.
What Penguin Town? Why doesn't Paimon remember? Is that also a fairy tale
என்ன
world?
கார்டு
Don't leave
புதுசா
Paimon in the dark!
வந்திருக்கு ஐயா காட் எதுவும் புதுசா சொல்லல காட் ரிமைன்ஸ் அப்படின்னு பேசுறோம் காட் ரிமைன்ஸ்னா ஒரு காடு அழிஞ்சிட்டா கூட அவங்களோட சில துளிகள் அது பைசு ஸ்டோரி குவெஸ்ட் விளையாடுன்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிடும் விளையாடிங்களா பைசு ஸ்டோரி குவெஸ்ட் அதுலயும் ஒருத்த வந்து காட் ரிமைன்ஸால அஃபெக்ட் ஆயிருப்பான் காட் ரிமைன்ஸா எஸ் காட் ரிமைன்ஸால
It's
வந்துட்டு
just one of my
affected.
personal quirks. Please pay
Landi.
it no mind.
அதில் தான்
Anyway,
அருமை ப்ரோ
Penguin
காட்
Town is
ரிமைன்ஸால
a
ஒருத்தன் அஃபெக்ட்
peaceful
ஆயிருப்பான்
place with lots
ஷாவ்
of
கிட்டலாம்
penguin residents.
ஹெல்ப் கேட்போம்
They're
ஷாவ் தான்
all really
சொல்லுவான்
good
காட்
at
ரிமைன்ஸ்
making
அப்படி நிறைய
clockwork
அவன்
toys.
ஒரு எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் கொடுப்பான்
And Pear is the town's
கொடுத்ததுக்கப்புறம் போய்
triumphant
தேடுவோம்
hero,
எந்த இடத்துல
as
இருக்குது
well as the
God
one who
remains.
quietly protects the whole place.
நீ
Yeah?
ஆஃபான் பேசுறது
But didn't you make Pear yourself?
பேசுவான் எஸ் அதேதான்
Well, I often think that Pear only came to me because he realized how much I
அதே மாதிரி
needed him.
இதுவும் ஒரு ஃபேண்டசி
So it's
ஏன்
not
வந்துட்டு
so much
அஃபெக்ட்
that I
ஆகி
made Pear, as Pear
ஒரு
chose
காட்
me as his
ரிமைன்ஸால
friend.
அஃபெக்ட் ஆகி ஃபேண்டசி வேர்ல்ட்ல வந்து லாக் ஆன மாதிரி ஒரு
Fremine, are you
கான்செப்ட்
sure you're not losing
வேர்ல்ட்னா
control of your
மைண்ட்லயே
fantasies as well?
No, I don't think so. I can still differentiate between fantasy and reality. I just believe that the fairy tale world of my dreams must also exist somewhere. It might just be hidden, which is why it's difficult to
பழைய
see.
ஹைட்ரோ ஆர்கானோட
Or it
காட்
will
ரிமைன்ஸ்
only reveal itself at very
சொல்றாங்களா
specific
அது
times.
எதுவும் இது இருக்கு சொல்லலாம் அந்த
Specific
மாதிரி எதுவும் சொல்ல
times?
காட் ரிமைன்ஸ்
Like
மட்டும்
when
தான்
you put
சொன்னேன்
on your diving helmet?
Yeah, that's the general idea of it.
Really? Paimon just said that because you put on your helmet.
Have you ever observed the surface world from underwater? It's as if you're viewing a whole different world from the outside. It's a very surreal feeling. Both alienating, but also as if you're being protected by something. I have a similar feeling when I put on my diving helmet. In those moments, it's possible to see some truly wondrous things, as if a fairy tale has become reality. It's almost like a sort of miracle.
Really? Like a miracle?
ஃபர்ஸ்டே இன்னும் ஆடல பட் நிறைய கொஸ்டின்ஸ் எஸ்
Well, if that's in order.
That's an
Hey,
I'm
don't
just
you still
kidding.
need time to work on Thelxie's weapon? We don't want to keep you from finishing your commission.
Right.
Yes.
I still have to collect some
And the
tools
penguin
I'll
is
need to
weapon
craft
ஆக
the
போறோமா?
weapon. I've got to finish everything before tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me,
பென்குயின்லாம் வெப்பன் யூஸ்
Paimon.
பண்ணுது
I'm sure there'll be other opportunities for you to try my
Yeah.
helmet. Thanks for all of your help.
இழுத்து இழுத்து
I'll be
பேசுறான்.
off for now.
பெருமை
Let's
டிவி
meet up
நோட்
here
விஏவா?
again in
ஆனா
2
லைவ்
days.
ஸ்ட்ரீம் எல்லாம் எவ்வளவு ஜாலியா இருக்கும் தெரியுமா? இவனுங்க கேரக்டரே அந்த முதல்ல பேச சொல்லியிருக்கானுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன், எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு. ஏன்னா அவன் லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் எல்லாம் செம ஜாலியாக தான் பேசுறான், நல்லா ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக தான் பேசுறான். ஓ அர்சி, இது மாஸ்கோடில் வருதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இல்லை, ஓகே, அந்த பென்குயின் வந்துட்டு மாஸ்கோட்ல பேசுது. பண்ணுவோம், லெட்ஸ் கோ ஃபார் தி குவெஸ்ட்.
Is your child feeling any better?
Thank you for your concern, Fremine. His condition is fairly stable. The family doctor said we might be able to take him out for a stroll today.
Surya, Fremine, we're here!
இருங்க guys, வரேன். ஓகே, ஐம் பேக். ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
Seems
முடிச்சிட்டு
like
வரேன்.
everyone's arrived now.
ஓகே ஓகே பிரவீன் ப்ரோ, 2 days
Quite.
19
Pardon
hours
for
left.
missing
ஓகே ஓகே
someone,
ஓகே,
but Paimon has a guess where you might be.
நான் ஒரே நாளில் முடிச்சிட்டேன். நானும் அதே தான். Thelxie, என்னடா இது? ஓ, இதுக்கு ஒரு ஈட்டி, இதுக்கு ஒரு ஷீல்டு வரையா?
Oh, Thelxie's got himself a sword and a shield now. He's looking sharp.
Indeed. With his weapons in hand, Thelxie looks more formidable than ever. You've really outdone yourself, Fremine.
We helped you.
Yes, you really had a good eye for materials. Everything you found was high quality. Speaking of which, Zuria just told me that she wants to end the adventure with the coronation ceremony. So, could I also trouble you with finding some materials for the crown? You can just keep an eye out for them on our way to the ruins. I was planning to collect the materials myself, but then I realized you might be able to find some prettier ones than what I could get my hands on.
Oh.
Seems like everything's ready to go. Shall we head out?
Please wait a moment. I was just thinking. Since Thelxie has already shown us his brand new appearance, we may already be able to draw a new page in the picture book. What do you think?
Ooh, Paimon's excited now.
What should we
Why
draw on
don't
the
we
page?
use the story we know as a reference? Just make the atmosphere a bit less grim.
So we'll take out the sad parts and replace them with happier stuff? Sounds great to Paimon.
All right, I'll give it a try. I'm not very adept at drawing, but I've seen a lot of art during my work. Now, as far as the actual content of the drawing, please tell me what you'd like to see.
Let me think. We can draw the weapon. The prince has picked up the Sword of Courage and the Shield of Perseverance, which proves he has crossed the mire of doubt, and now is ready to wage war against the darkness.
Okay, I'll add the weapons. Anything else?
Paimon wants to give him some friends. Thelxie's got some friends by his side now, so he's no longer fighting alone.
Okay, I'll also draw some companions. Anything else?
Paimon.
Color. Ah, color, yes, that's really important. The road in front of him now will no longer be just grayscale, but bursting with color and hope. Who would have thought the page could have become so inspiring? How wonderful. Splendid ideas, everyone.
Great! Everyone looks super pumped up. Thelxie most of all.
Are you seeing this, my son? Are you feeling inspired by this as well?
I'm sure he is, Zarya. And this is still just the first page.
That's right! Paimon can't wait to see the picture book when it's all finished. We should finish
Oh.
it as soon as possible and keep up the belief and hope in our hearts.
Okay, Paimon.
I'm starting to look forward to it as well. So let's get this show on the road and head towards the Kingdom of Water Imps.
Hey! Thelxie's fantastic adventures begin now!
Part 2 begins. Let's go!
Look! Those are materials that we can use for the crown, right? Let's get some for Fremine.
These should be enough. I knew you'd have a knack for finding the best materials. We shouldn't need anything else to head to the...
Whoa! Is that the entrance to the underwater ruins ahead?
Okay. Oh, these are ruins.
So these are the underwater ruins that Fremine found. They're pretty amazing, but still not exactly the kind that Paimon was imagining.
Water ruins, Paimon, not ruins.
Oh, yeah, Paimon knows. It's just... Paimon thought we'd actually see a fairy tale world. Like with the water imps' colorful houses and the rainbow bridge.
I'm sorry. I was hoping to put up some decorations.
Whoa, someone's already switched into fantasy mode.
Seems like the travelers already got the gist of things. You should do your best too, Paimon.
Yes, Paimon.
Don't underestimate Paimon. Paimon can flip the switch too. Now entering Paimon Fantasy Mode!
Paimon fantasy mode.
Young adventurers, 'tis Paimon, guardian goddess of this land. State your goals and intentions for visiting this nation.
We are the companions of Prince Thelxie, your Divine Highness. We have come to help him reclaim the glory that he has lost.
Oh, reclaiming your glory? Thy goddess here has golden glory, silver glory, and bronze glory. Which is it that the prince has lost?
Silver, golden glory, silver gold, bronze glory. Did you break character, Paimon?
Not at all! This is the goddess's test! From your responses, the goddess has concluded that you're all brave adventurers without the taint of greed in your hearts. As such, you are worthy of everyone's respect. So please accept the goddess's reward. The goddess will now bestow all 3 types of glory upon you.
Oh. அப்படியா
And
பைமான்?
as for this prince, the goddess will also bestow upon you the rainbow glory, so your future will always be filled with light.
My gratitude to your divine highness for such generous blessings. Power is now surging through every part of my body.
Oh.
Me too.
Me too.
Is this the divine inspiration of legend?
All thanks to the power of Goddess Paimon. Goddess Paimon.
Now, adventurers, forge bravely ahead and defeat the monsters that have taken over the kingdom. You will be sure to find that which you seek. Please be careful, brave adventurers. Just ahead are some evil enemies that have invaded the kingdom of water imps. They are called reagions of the deep.
Those accursed enemies are back again. Your Highness, please show them what you're made of.
Order guide you.
We're under attack again. It's a logitech of the deep.
There's no need to fear, my friends. His Highness is so strong now that even a diviniture of the deep would pose no threat to him.
It's finally over. So have we defeated the evil monsters and reclaimed the kingdom of water imps?
Yes.
Yes, it should now be time for us to attend Thelxie's coronation ceremony. The only thing is, I didn't expect this to go so smoothly. I thought it would have taken longer for us to reach the heart of the ruins. It was my mistake. I should have told Fremine earlier that we would also need a crown.
It's all because the Traveler and Goddess Paimon are too strong. We just
Goddess
eradicated all the
Paimon.
monsters in one go.
It's okay, Zuria. We can come back again once I've made the crown.
Then I must thank all of you again for taking the time, and you too, Thelxie, my child.
Thelxie's turning out to be a real expert at fighting.
I don't think there's anything that will be able to stop him. He's like a true prince now.
True prince.
Yes, I agree as well.
Okay.
Let's head back to camp for now. I asked the Traveler to search for some materials on the way because I want to make the crown as soon as possible.
We can add an update to Thelxie's fantastic adventures as well. Now that we've reclaimed the kingdom of water
Thelxie's
imps,
fantastic
it's time
adventure.
for us to draw some new scenes in the picture book. Zuria and Fremine, why don't we draw the new pages first? Paimon really
Yes.
wants to update the picture book. Hey, you didn't have to say it out loud.
No problem. I'm happy to oblige. Then in that case, the story today should go something like this. After overcoming many obstacles, Prince Thelxie and his brave companions finally arrived at the
Thelxie
entrance
கோவமா
to the
இருக்கு.
kingdom of water imps. At this time, the little fairy in the group, Paimon, revealed her true goddess form to her companions.
The goddess has arrived! She praised the companions for their purity, and to reward them, she bestowed upon them many blessings, and even prayed that the prince
Paimon
would be able to
goddess.
fulfill his goal.
Bathed bathed under the goddess's glory, the prince and his companions charged into the bastion of evil, chased away the monsters, and rescued the pretty water imps from their imprisonment. The prince finally managed to reclaim his kingdom. But as for the crown...
Hello. Okay.
Oh no, the crown isn't ready yet!
No. The crown was within the prince's reach, but the monsters took it with them as they fled. They haven't given up and are sure to return, but the prince is certain to reclaim the crown the next time they fight. The brilliant rainbow shall descend onto the kingdom once more.
Oh.
Oh, and Paimon can almost see it all happening now! Whoa, the pages are beautiful! Zuria's really talented at drawing.
Thank you, everyone. We've also completed the second page of the picture book now. Thelxie's journey is one step closer to its end and the promised coronation. My
Oh.
child, you'll also be able to brighten up when that time comes, right?
I'm sure he will, Zuria. Who knows? Perhaps the doctor will already have some good news for you when you get back home today.
I sure hope so, Your Divine Highness. Oh, Fremine, about the time you'll need for the crown.
Please don't worry. One day should be more than enough.
Ah, then I must thank
One
you
day.
for your hard work. All right, let's rendezvous here in another 2 days' time for our final adventure, okay?
Okay. Sounds
And
good
see
to
you in
me.
2 days, my lovely friends.
Nice. 2 நாள் கழிச்சு மறுபடியும் தெல்க்ஸி அட்வென்ச்சர் போறோம். பாட்டு பாடுறோமா பாட்டு பாடிட்டே போதும். அம்மி.
Alright, it's
Okay.
about time we start heading off too. You've still got some work to do, right, Fremine?
Yes.
Yeah.
ஃபெமினிட்டிக்கு நிறைய வேலை
I'll
இருக்கு.
need to go to the city shortly to get some parts for the base of the crown. I want to try out a few different designs and choose the one that looks the best.
Yeah.
Really
Paimon knew that you
dedicated.
didn't often
Amma.
take commissions from others, but Paimon had no idea you'd be so dedicated once you're on the job.
Well, about that, it might be because
Because
what?
it's because I hope.
What's the matter? And what's with that look on your face? You're turning red, and it looks like you're about to run away and put your helmet on again.
Am
Paimon
I
கலாய்க்கு.
turning red?
Don't tease Feminine.
Alright. We won't bother you anymore for today, friend.
Yes.
Let's see each other in 2 days' time.
Okay, thank you. See you in 2 days.
Here. நடந்து போறோம். இன்னைக்கான பாட்டு முடிக்கிட்டான்.
I hope that everyone who's found themselves in a dark place would be able to see something beautiful and experience a miracle for themselves.
Hey, Fremine! Thelxie!
Hey.
Hello,
Feminine,
Paimon.
Thelxie.
Hello, traveler.
Hello.
Is the crown ready?
YouTube's Zero
Yes,
just followed.
we're just waiting for
Hi
Zuria
bro,
now.
YouTube Zero. Welcome
She
to the
hasn't
stream. Thanks for a
arrived yet.
lovely follow.
Then let's wait for her a little while. Or actually, maybe we can go find her. It's not too far from here anyway. Didn't she say she just lives on the hill over there?
Hey, traveler, Paimon.
Oh, and speaking of,
Found you two at long last. I'm so glad that you both are all right.
huh? Why are you here, Miss Delaroche? And
This reward is
what
disabled
could
now.
have happened to us?
What could have
YouTube
happened?
CEO.
That water imp Thelxie, of course. After I gave you that commission the other day,
இருங்க bro, இந்த
I
quest
began
முடிச்சோனே
to
எல்லாத்தையும் ஆன்
worry
பண்ணி
and
விடுறேன்.
went asking about the boy that went missing.
ஏன்னா சின்னதா தான் இருந்தது 10 to 15 minutes தான் இருக்கும்
Figure
எனக்கு.
it out now. The boy you heard about was just Fremine. Even the missing fish was his fault. Don't worry, we'll help you get the fish back as soon as we're done with this job.
Oh.
Oh, sorry about that. I've been diving in the area recently.
Huh? Fremine? Diving? No, no, that's not what happened at all. I've heard a completely different account.
Oh.
What I was told is that about a month ago, a child tied a bunch of heavy seashells onto his body and walked into this open stretch of water.
Oh.
He never came back. What could that be if not that water imp's work?
Are you sure?
100% sure. I've confirmed the account with several veteran fishermen I know. The child was only 8 years old. His name was Lescaut. Lescaut de Stray.
Wait, Lescaut de Stray?
Yeah, that's the name. They say the family took on the name after moving to the city from a place called Stray. Anyway, his mother is a pretty famous art dealer, while his father passed away from an accident many years ago.
My God.
Well, naturally,
Oh,
his mother
தனியா
was
இருந்ததா பாத்துக்கிட்டு
devastated
இருந்திருக்கா.
by the incident and fell terribly ill. It's said that she left the court of Fontaine, and no one knows where she's gone.
இப்ப அந்த பையனும் போயிட்டான்.
It can't be, right? Lesko Destre? Zuria Destre? It must be some sort of a coincidence?
I'm sorry, miss. We've got to go check on something right now.
Oh, I see. Well, you go on ahead. I just came to make sure that you're both all right. I'll head back then. Please remember to take care.
Excuse us. Is anyone here? Is this Madame Destre's place?
Who are you? I have a patient here who needs quiet bed rest. Please leave us be unless you have anything urgent to report.
This is the residence of Zuria Destri, and I'm Jala Khan, her family doctor. What did you mean by your question just now?
Oh.
Who else could be my patient?
Your patient should be Zuria's son, right? She told us herself that her son had contracted loneliness syndrome.
No, you're right. Young Master Lescaut did have that illness once upon a time, but he's...
Okay.
Well, the young master's no longer with us. And now the Madame has come down with the same illness. Are you
அந்த 8 வயசு பையன்
her
செத்துட்டானா?
friends by any chance? Oh. So, when she had requested time to go out over the past few days, it was so she could spend them with you.
So, if I'm understanding this right, the one who's suffering from uncontrollable delusions is the Madame herself? She believes her son is still alive?
That is correct. When the young master disappeared, she was organizing an art exhibit that she had specifically prepared for him. But since she had to leave the house, she was unable to see her son one last time. That might have been the trigger for her regret. Or perhaps the family's fall into loneliness and grief was inevitable as
எப்ப
soon as
பார்த்தாலும்
the
அது
old
வச்சு அதை
master
கொண்டு போய்
passed
ஏதாவது
away.
சந்தோஷமான எண்டிங் கொண்டு போங்கடா.
First the son, and then the mother.
But how could that be? She really looked like she had a handle on everything. Her smile was so lovely, and she even told us to stay optimistic. But you're saying she...
Those actions are proof that she can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality.
Then all the other things that she told us about her son, were those fake too?
No, those were all real. Although they were all things that happened before the young master left us for good. Madame's time has just never moved forward since his passing.
I see. So after her son left, she created a fantasy world where her son was still with her. She was looking for a way to cure his illness when she ran into us.
Whoa.
She has been in a good mood the past few days, even humming a song when she returned from her stroll. She even began discussing with me the idea of using deliberate guidance to ease the illness. It was all going well, until last night. She spent a whole night staring at the shell the young master left behind, and the words that he had inscribed onto it. Then she broke down once more. I prescribed some sedatives, and she's currently resting.
But then what should we do? How can we help her? There has to be something we can do.
Don't panic, Paimon. Even though this is a devastating piece of news, we must all calm down first.
Yes, Paimon.
What should we do? I need to think. I need to remember the old house of the hearth and the children who lived in it. Those patients and what their doctors said back then. What if...
Hi bro,
Dr.
Praveen bro,
Jalakha,
welcome to the
have
stream.
you seen a picture book? The
Praveen
mom
bro,
should have
சாப்பிட்டாச்சா?
brought it back
ஆமா
with
லைவ்ல
her.
இருக்கலாம் சாப்பிட்டாச்சாப்பா. என்ன டைம் ஆகுது? 8 ஆயிடுச்சு.
Are you thinking about trying the guidance therapy she talked to me about before? It's worth a shot. I'll go get the book.
Yes, this is it.
We still need to finish the adventure on the future.
That's right. If what Dr. Jalakha said was true, the past few
Getting
days
back
have been
political.
very helpful
Okay,
to
okay, okay,
Zeria.
okay.
So we should complete
எந்த
this
question
journey.
இப்போ?
We need to show her that her child has found a happy ending in the world of her dreams.
But wouldn't that just make it harder for her to
அட பாவி.
accept reality?
One must first face
fear that
reality
turn and
before
chicken
accepting it.
கீழ விழுந்ததுல.
The Madame has been crushed by her feelings of grief and
Romero
can no
art
longer
was
bring
nice.
herself to face reality. Our first priority would be to get her out of this state.
Right. Before today, I had thought she wanted to use Thelxie's fantastic adventures to save her son. But now, I think she might need it to save herself.
Content
And
start
if we could complete it,
okay.
we should be able to give her some feeling of
இல்ல bro, நான்
inspiration
பார்க்கல
and
bro, பிரதீப்
closure.
bro. Point redeem some.
Maybe those
எனக்கு
feelings would be
redeem
enough
காட்டலன்றாரு.
to give her some
Lock
courage to
ஆயிருக்குன்னு.
face reality again.
We're here again. This is the final part of Thelxie's journey, but the most important person is missing.
Everyone, please don't be so down and gloomy. Remember what she told us? If we were to feel troubled, the patient would become anxious as well.
You're right. Paimon needs to smile. If we have to give something to Zeria, it should be our smiles. We have to keep smiling as we finish this adventure.
Yes.
And then she'll be able to recover, right everyone?
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure she will.
Be careful, brave adventurers! Here come the evil monsters that stole the crown! They're... the deep-sea Cyclops! Let's eat them up!
After quest. Elon. Okay. I could not get to kitchen by சொன்னேனே ப்ரோ உங்க வீட்ல யாரும் இல்லன்னு கேட்டேன் சாப்பிட்டு 9க்கு ஸ்டீம்ல ரீஜன் பண்றேன் ப்ரோ அது வரைக்கும் பாய் ஓகே
I'm
சுபி
sorry.
ப்ரோ
I have to
9க்கு
go.
வாங்க அதுக்கு அப்புறம்
I made a promise to my friends and I'm already very late.
But Madame, you're still...
எஸ் நீங்க வாங்க
Don't try to stop me. Today's the most important day for treating Thelxie. We'll use the guidance method. Didn't you also say that you think it'd work?
I'm not trying to stop you, Madame. It's just... Could you tell me the name of your child?
Dr. Jalakha, how can you forget the name of your own patient? His name is Thelxie. He's the prince of the kingdom of water imps. We will go today to reclaim his crown and attend his coronation ceremony.
I see.
கேக்கல ப்ரோ ஓகே 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 ப்ரோ
Please rest assured, everything
Madame.
is still on schedule. Your friends have already departed to find... Wait, look. They've already returned.
Zuria! Zuria! We've retrieved the crown!
Paimon, everyone, have you really?
Yes,
என்ன
but the
madame?
coronation ceremony still hasn't taken place, because we felt like you should be the one to preside over it.
Wonderful, how wonderful! Thelxie, my child, are you hearing this? Everything you lost will now come back to you, and soon, very soon, you will never be lonely again.
And the last page of the picture book. It's still waiting for you to illustrate in color.
Right, the picture book. But I don't know what I should put on the last page.
Don't worry, Thelxie and his friends all know what should go on it. Get ready, Zuria. We'll describe everything for you.
Okay.
At last, Thelxie and his friends were able to drive off the final invading monsters and achieve a dashing victory. Their success was complete, and the recovered crown resplendent.
The water imps, finally returning
Robo
to
Mari
their
பேசுறான்
homes,
lol.
showered the prince with love and applause as he
painting
greeted
Jackson.
them. They once again offered their precious shells to the prince and reconstructed the rainbow bridge of old. As he watched the scene unfold, the prince
Hey,
could
thanks
not
for
help
giving me
but
headed,
be
bro.
touched by its beauty.
Moved by everyone's happiness, the prince stepped onto the rainbow bridge and took a good look at all the friends who had gone on the journey with him. There stood the traveler, Goddess Paimon,
Goddess
Fremine,
Paimon.
and...
Paimon goddess ஆயிடுச்சா?
Huh?
Yes.
Where's the last person? The prince looked frantically around, but could not find the person he wanted to see most. At that moment, the person suddenly appeared on the other side of the bridge. She walked towards him with a smile and slowly lifted her veil.
The prince could not hold back his tears. He
உனக்கு
recognized
அவ்வளவுதான்
then
limit.
that the
அதேதான்.
mysterious person that had been by his side the whole time was none other than his mother. Zuria walked across the bridge.
All.
என்ன எழவு நெட்வொர்க்கா வச்சிருக்கீங்க?
I am so sorry, my child.
வைஃபை கட் ஆகுதா bro?
My
தெரியல
mom
bro.
should have spent more time with
ஈத்தர்நெட்டும்
you.
போட்டு வச்சிருக்கேன், வைஃபையும் போட்டு வச்சிருக்கேன். ரெண்டுத்துல எதுனாலும்
Did you
இதுவாகும்.
hear the story?
ஈத்தர்நெட்டை பிடிங்கி
You'll
வச்சிருக்கேன்
never
இப்போ.
have to feel lonely again.
நாளைக்கு கண்டென்ட்டுக்கு வேற போடணும். இது குறுக்குல இதுவாகுது.
Mama loves you too.
What's happening? Is Zuria talking to Thelxie?
Quick,
What's he saying?
put on my diving helmet. There's a transcription module in it that's compatible with Thelxie's output signals. You should be able to use it to understand what Thelxie's saying.
கரெக்டா இருக்கா? அவட இப்போது கரெக்டா தான் இருக்கு. போய் I love you, Mama. Love you, Mama.
Mama loves you too.
But I love you more, Mamo.
என்ன ஒரு பையனா மாறிட்டான்?
What? Did you
Thelxie.
see something?
Maman,
ஓ
getting a
இதுதான் உங்க
little
பையனா?
sleepy. If it's time for bed, can you hum a lullaby to me again? Of course, my dearest child.
ஏன்டா
As long
உங்களுக்கு
as
கதை
you want to
எழுதுனாலே
hear it,
உங்களுக்கு சோகமா முடிக்கதா தெரியுமாடா?
Mama will
சந்தோஷமா
always
முடிக்க
hum
தெரியாதாடா?
for you.
செட் ஆகுது. ஐயோ ஃபாண்டேன் அதேதான்.
Thank you, Mama.
கதை எழுதுனாலே உங்களுக்கு சோகமா தான் முடிக்க
Lullaby has
தெரியுமான்னு தெரியல.
always been my favorite.
ஃபாண்டேன் ரொம்ப சோகமா
Now
போகுது.
that I've heard it, I can return to my dream and to the kingdom of water imps in
இது வரைக்கும் வந்த
peace.
வரைக்குமே ஃபாண்டைன் கொஸ்ட் எல்லாமே சோகமாக தான் போயிட்டு இருக்கு,
My poor
இன்க்ளூடிங்
darling.
கேரக்டர் கொஸ்ட்.
Please don't forget. I will always love you. My love is greater than the entire distance between here and the kingdom of water imps. I won't forget, Mammon.
கொடுமை, ஆமா.
And so is my love for you. Greater than the entire distance between here and the kingdom of water imps. Good night, Mammon.
ஐயோ பாடடி, நீங்க சோகத்தை குத்து குத்து சோகனை நின்று தெரியாம பண்றீங்க போல இருக்கு, சந்தோஷம் நின்று தெரியாம பண்றீங்க போல இருக்கு. 3 days later at Fremenit's camp. Oh, அது முடிஞ்சிருச்சா?
Traveler, Paimon, you're here.
Yes, we are here.
Fremine, why did you call us in such a hurry? Did you hear something from Zuria? Oh, if it's not good news, Paimon doesn't want to hear it.
Don't worry, it's definitely great news. The Madame came here for a visit just now with her doctor. Color has returned to her cheeks, and she sounded full of energy as well. She said she'd like to return to the court to continue hosting the art exhibit. But this time,
Okay, brother, bro.
she'll
Okay, bro.
work with her doctor to exhibit some picture books related to the illness. Of course, Thelxie's fantastic adventures and the guidance therapy will be included in the exhibit as well. She'd like to use her experience to help others.
That's wonderful. So it wasn't bad news after all.
Mm-hmm. Here, please take this picture book with you. The Madame wanted you to have it. If at some point in the future you were to run into someone with similar troubles, she hopes the book would be of use to you.
But this is her son's story, right? Is it really okay to give the book to us?
வாங்கிக்கோ
Don't
பைமான்,
worry,
நீதான்
it's
காடஸ்
just
பைமான்
a
ஆச்சு.
copy. She still has the original.
உனக்கு ட்ரிபியூட் பண்றாங்க.
It's extremely important to her.
Alright, then there's no problem. It feels good knowing we've contributed to something important. Paimon definitely didn't expect the fantasy adventure to be so useful. Paimon was a little worried about how everything would turn out. After all, fantasy is just fantasy.
ஆமா,
Paimon,
it's just fantasy.
Do you know what the Madame said? She said that at the moment when she placed the crown on Thelxie's head, she felt like she really saw something beautiful. Her child had returned, and he told her that he loved her. She
நாங்களும் அதை
also
பார்த்தோம்.
said that was when she was finally able to bid farewell to her son. She felt like at that moment, she was healed by some mystical power, and she was filled with courage from head to toe.
Oh,
Oh, really? But could that just be another part of her fantasy?
Perhaps. But if fantasy is just fantasy, and the fantasy world is not real, then how could it still grant us these powers that we can continue to use in the real world?
so perhaps fantasy is not just a fantasy. After all,
But what else could it be?
A descent of the fairy tale world into the real world. At that time, the wondrous fairy tale temporarily became reality and influenced real things in our world.
mhm.
That has to be what happened. You saw it too, didn't you?
That can't be what
Tata, வாங்க
happened,
Giant bro,
right?
welcome to the
There's
stream.
just no way. Wouldn't it be like a miracle if that really happened?
Yes,
Yes.
goddess Paimon.
I suppose that would be a miracle. I
வணக்கம்
hope
bro,
that
வணக்கம் bro.
everyone who's found themselves in a dark place
சாப்பிட்டாச்சா Giant bro?
will be able to see something beautiful
Oh,
and experience a miracle for themselves.